right, this week we are going to focus on the element of line. Last week we learned about the elements of art, the building blocks of art. So let's review them quickly. They are color, value, line, shape, form, texture, and space. We are going to be focusing on line. If you haven't already, you should have out your sketchbook and a pencil so you can jot down some notes as we go through the slideshow. The first thing is that line is the path of a point moving through space. Remember last week I said that it all begins with line. You put a pencil to the paper and take it on a walk and you have line. We're going to talk about two categories of line today. The first one being expressive lines. So you need to write that down. Expressive lines. These are lines that can be used expressively in art. So I would write the next sentence, which says, that means that certain lines can be used to create certain moods or effects. Okay, we talked about different types of line last week. Now let's see how they could be used to express in art. The first one we're going to talk about is horizontal lines. Horizontal, we learned last week, they run from left to right. You probably did not know, and you probably should write this down, that they can be used to convey a sense of rest and calm. Notice how the flag does not appear to be moving at all. If you were drawing a picture of a calm ocean, what kind of line would you use? Okay, a calm ocean. Hopefully you would use a horizontal line. And now we know why. The next line is vertical lines. Vertical lines run up and down, which you also learned last week. I would write down that they can be used to convey a sense of strength and power. Many government buildings have tall vertical columns which help convey a sense of strength and power, just like this example of this building here. Which tree sounds safer for climbing? One that stands tall and upright, or one that is leaning over? Hopefully you chose the tall one. Next, we have diagonal lines. Diagonal lines run a combination of up and down and left and right all at the same time. Write this down. They can be used to convey movement or instability, so like unstable. Here's a Kandinsky painting. And he really created a sense of movement and instability in this painting. Everything looks like it's in motion. If you were drawing a picture of a ball flying through the air, what would you draw behind it to make it look like it's moving? You see this a lot in comic books, which we also talked about last week. If a baseball player is throwing a ball through the air, typically what you would see behind it are some diagonal lines to show that it is, in fact, moving. The next expressive line we're going to talk about are wavy lines. Wavy lines gently alternate directions. They can be used to convey a sense of soothing movement or energy. That might be something you would write down. They are used to convey a sense of soothing movement or energy. So this is artwork created by Bridget Riley, and we will look at a lot of her artwork when we talk about op art. And it does actually look like the picture is waving or moving. When drawing a picture of flowing water, what kind of line would you use? Probably a wavy line. Next up, we have spiral lines. Spiral lines move in an increasingly larger and larger circular motion. They can be used to convey a sense of hypnotizing movement and relaxation. Hopefully you recognize this painting from last week as well. Again, it's Starry Night from Van Gogh. You all talked about how some of you, it made you feel sleepy, calm, and peaceful. And now we're seeing how the spirals can also create movement, make it look like the wind is blowing. If you were drawing a picture of a windy day, what type of line could you use? Zigzag lines. Zigzag lines sharply alternate between moving up and down, as opposed to wavy that are gentle. They can be used to convey a sense of tension or pain. The zigzag lines here are creating a little tension in the painting. If you were drawing a picture of a saw, what kind of line would you use to draw the blade? Most of you, a zigzag line, right? Next up, we have broken lines. Broken lines are made up of consecutive of line segments. They can be used to convey transition, movement, or temporality. That's a big word. It just means something is temporary. That would be something you would want to write down. Broken lines, here we see a picture of them on a road. And broken lines on a road tell the driver that they can pass. It is okay to pass to another lane. Perforated or broken lines often appear on paper forms that are meant to be torn apart. Where else have you seen a broken line? All right, identify the line. What do we see in the painting below? This is by Mondrian. Hopefully you see vertical and horizontal lines. Let's check out another one. What type of line do you see in this famous artwork below? Okay, I see vertical, I see horizontal, I see zigzag. All right, let's go to the next one. What type of line do you see in this artwork? I see wavy, I see diagonal, I see vertical, I see horizontal, I even see some zigzag in there. Identify this line. This is the Great Wave. I bet lots of you have seen this one before. Okay, do you see horizontal? Maybe a little wavy? Okay. So those are all of our expressive lines. Now we're going to talk about another group of lines that we call our descriptive lines. Descriptive lines are lines that we use to help us understand what we are seeing. They can define areas, create movement, show form. These three types of lines are gesture lines, contour lines, and cross-contour lines. You may want to jot those down. The first one we're going to talk about is gesture lines. Gesture lines are used to quickly capture an object's form and movement. These are used a lot in animations, so if you see drawings, they're just quickly trying to capture the movement, okay, before putting it into its final piece or final work for the actual animator. Next, we have contour lines. Contour lines are just outlines. You've probably drawn many of these before and just not known they were called contour lines. They are just used to define the outer edges of an object. Next, we also have cross contour lines. Cross contour lines describe the form, and remember, okay, shape we said was 2D, form is 3D. So if we're using cross contour lines to define the form, then we are trying to help show this object in 3 dimensions. Okay, and then finally, actually that's the final one, so now let's identify some lines. All right, what do you think is in this painting by Rembrandt? Give you a second. Hopefully you said gesture lines, because yes, they are quick drawings to help show the movement of the figures. Let's look at this one. What type of line do you see in this artwork? Do you see cross contour lines? Yes, because why? They're trying to capture the 3 dimensions of the face, the form of the face. And then finally, what do you see in this one? Hopefully you said contour. Yes, we're just simply describing the shape, drawing the outline of the figures there. I hope you were able to pause and write down some good notes, because I will be checking these. I hope you've learned a lot so that we can move forward with our study of the line.